Right, Bella met Dave and started out as kind of a random hookup. She said his place was kind of messy. She's like, yeah, no, this guy, no. But there's something about Dave. Very laid back, kind of cool. And next thing she knew, she's like, man, this guy's kind of growing on me. So she put it out there and said, hey, maybe we can get together again. But that was 3 weeks ago. He seemed receptive to it at the time, but you never did hear back from him, though, right?
No, never. Not even like a nice to meet you.
Right. I don't know how far Bella wants to take this. If you just want to see him again for another random hookup, or if you want to like go on a date.
I mean, I would just like to know what happened, you know?
Because, we'll send you to dinner. We'll send you guys out to Sacred Beast. You guys can sit down, chow down.
In a public place before you go,
Really get to know each other, if this goes well. But we got to talk to Dave first, I suppose. Put the cart before the horse here.
I'm just eager to see what he thought.
All right, well, let's call Dave. Speak to Dave, please.
Yeah, this is him. Who is this?
Jeff, Jenn, Fritch, and Tim at Q102. How are you this morning?
Sorry, you guys aren't really my thing. I don't really listen to you guys, no offense.
That's okay. You don't have to be a fan to come on the show. We just want to talk to you for a little bit. If you got a moment, I promise we're not calling a mess with you or embarrass you, but we did get a phone call from someone who is kind of a fan of yours. You hung out with her about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and she hasn't heard from you since, and we wanted to get your thoughts on Bella. Do you remember Bella, the woman you met on Tinder?
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah, I do. I mean, people talk to you about this on the radio and stuff?
Strange thing, they do.
Yep. Openly, honestly. In great detail, so don't hold back.
I've never heard of this before.
Well, I'll tell you why the curiosity, because she said she put it out there to you that maybe you guys could get together again, see how that plays out. You seemed receptive to it, and maybe you were just being polite. And if so, that's cool, but at this point, she's ready for a more definitive explanation.
Okay, well, I mean, she was pretty cool. I mean, all things considered.
All things considered?
Yeah, it was weird. It was kind of weird. She, totally wanted to get all freaky. You know what I mean? She wanted to, do everything, but she made me wear a mask the whole time. And
oh, you mean like when you guys were?
Yeah, and so I had a mask on, and she had one on too, and she also had one of those those plastic face shields. She had she doubled up.
No way.
Yeah, it was definitely strange. I felt like I was on one of those. What's that movie, Contagion? It was something like that.
How do you? I'm having trouble with all of the logistics.
That's the wave of the future.
You got to work around that.
Wow. I mean, it's you had to cut your head off from all of the activity.
Could you see her eyes, or was it just all fogged up?
Oh, it had to be very messy.
Yeah, very steamy.
Yeah.
No, it's as strange as you would imagine. I mean, yeah, I could see your eyes at first, and then it got kind of foggy, and we kind of had to wipe the fog away. But at first, I thought it was some kind of role play scenario thing, but
that's what I was thinking.
It was purely for safety reasons, which was super strange. I mean, we got the job done. I'll say that, but it was definitely weird and awkward for sure.
Oh, wow.
That is bizarre.
Well, Dave, we have Bella on the line with us right now.
Listen, he was a stranger. We're in a pandemic. I wanted to have fun, but at the same time, potentially, not die. And honestly, Dave, you didn't seem to mind one bit that night. You never said a word about it other than okay.
Well, it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, if you're worried about getting COVID, then don't have sex with strangers. Simple.
Well, that breaks it down.
I kind of am with him on that one.
You know what? This is lame. I think you're lying for whatever reason because you had a really good time. I could tell.
I mean, this is weird. I'm not looking to date anybody. Honestly, no disrespect to you, because we met on Tinder, so we had a deal. We sealed the deal. Done. I mean, I wish you well, but no disrespect. I mean, that's what we signed up for, right?
You wish me well? Are you serious?
That's a good thing to wish for.
Damn.
Well, Bella, let me ask you this. Let's say Dave was down for getting together again. Would you want to wear the mask again, or do you think you'd feel more comfortable with him without the mask?
I'm honestly
And
at this
face shield.
point, at this point, I don't want to see him again. So.
I figured that, but I'm just curious, how did you see this going moving forward? Would you have kept the mask and face shield on, or do you think second or third time around you would have loosened up around him?
I feel like we would have eventually taken it off, once I knew that he was being safe. Mm-hmm. I don't know. To me, I thought it was kind of like a courtesy thing. I thought he would think, oh, that's cool. She cares about my safety because we're both wearing masks. I don't know. I didn't think it was that weird.
All right. Well, there it is, Dave. I mean, just wanted to make sure Bella felt like her position was represented fairly. And is there anything else you'd like to add or subtract?
No. I mean, this whole situation's been weird to me. So, I mean, this is strange. I'm even on the radio talking about this, but.
All right.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to wish for her? She's not feeling well.
Nah, I think I'm good.
Okay.
All right. Dave, thank you for taking a call, even though we're not your thing. Thank you for talking to us.
For sure, man. Y'all take it easy.
All right, you too.
Take care.
And Bella, thank you for putting yourself out there and coming on Second Date Update. I'm sorry it turned out the way that it did.
Oh, I mean, it's okay. Listen, you guys helped. I'm grateful, so thanks.
Anytime.
Take care.
You too.
Safe sex kind of is taking on a new meaning these days, isn't it? Really. So if you need our help with the Second Date Update, all you have to do is send us an email, Jeff and Jenn at WKRQ.com.
You sure we played this?
I'm saying yes.
I think we did. It would have been on our 1 year anniversary.
You remember this?
How do we not?
I remember.
I remember the song. I just don't remember playing it in Morning Drive. Do you?
Oh, yeah, totally. That was a hot tune back in the day.
All right.
I did.
Yeah.
So you guys probably did.
How do you think we know all of the words if we didn't play it? Morning Drive.
I don't know.
She makes a good point.
There you go. Number one song this week in 2003.
Were you guys doing club gigs in 2003?
We never did club gigs here. At least, I did one. There was a male review at Jillian's.
Oh, yeah, when I got smacked in the head.
You got smacked. There were some
With
really
what?
mean women there.
Some lady grabbed my head, and I was like, you better get this, bitch, because we are in Covington, and it is coming for you.
Oh, that's fine. I remember that story.
I was so pissed.
I thought it had
nuts.
to do with maybe one of the members of the review. The review.
It did, because it was kind of like women were very aggressive.
Sure.
We were like, and you guys are all in the front row, and boy, did they take that literally.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think that was our first and last club gig for me, anyway.
Yeah.
And I was like,
remember
I am not going to be hit, Jen.
I'm like,
I am taking punches for you.
And I think I did one the whole time I was here at Metropolis, and it was Holly's gig on a regular, but for whatever reason, I don't know if she got sick that night or she had to go home early or something, but I remember having to run up there and pinch
handle
hit.
it.
And
You dropped it down in Metropaho?
Did you go sit in the chill area for a while?
I did, and then I came out, and somebody completely keyed my car, too.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's messed up.
That's what you get for doing a favor.
That's just a sign that our club days were over.
Yeah, right.
We both got indications that we had done our time.
I'm like, really? 20 after 8, Jeff and Jenn, Cincinnati's Q102, celebrating our 18th anniversary today. 18 years ago, we kicked off the show on Q102, and we're playing some of the number one hits over the years, and that was Beyonce, Baby Boy. Look, Fritchie broke out a cake, and she's got champagne glasses and everything.
I do.
I mean, that's 18 years. I mean, I thought we were going to be lucky if we made it 5.
Yeah, me too. And I remember when our first contract was 18 months, and it was a guaranteed contract for 18 months, and
They can't fire us for 18 months.
Right, and that was it. That was all we had. They said, "Look, we'll give you 18 months, sink or swim. Good luck." And it was a big move for us because we were coming from Florida, and it's a risk. I mean, there'd been a bit of a revolving door of different morning teams here prior to us coming.
How many were there in what amount of time? Weren't there 7 in 5 years?
According to Cincinnati Enquirer writer at the time, John Kieswider, there were 13 different morning team combinations the previous 10 years. Whether they, quit the job and moved on to bigger and better things, or if they just didn't work out. All told, 13 different teams over the course of 10 years. So,
And
you know,
when you're
longevity.
And when you take the job, when you're number 14 after a string like that,
It's a risk.
that's like, whoo.
Right. So, you know, they said, look, I mean, 18 months, if we see any promise or any traction within that time, you know, that should be enough time. But, you know, Cincinnati's a tough market. Like when you come in as an outsider, anybody who's a native here, you know, who's lived here their whole lives will tell you, you know, this is a very, you know, incestuous community in the sense that, you know, people kind of stick to their neighborhoods, very neighborhoody community. You know, it's all about where you went to high school.
It's
and
cliquey.
You know, there are a lot of lifers here. It's very cliquey.
Yeah.
It takes a while for an outsider to become an insider.
Yeah.
And what was interesting about us coming here too is like Jeff and I, we got fired in Tampa and looking for a job, doing the job hunt. Cincinnati was the one market we were aware that there was an opening here at this radio station, but this was the one market we did not send a tape and resume to because the guy that had hired us in Tampa all those years back, who we loved and adored and were very loyal to, was working across the street here. He was working at the competition. And so we're like, we don't want to go and compete against him.
Yeah, if we can't work with him, we don't want to go to that market.
Right.
Was that because he was so good at what he did, or did you?
Well, he was doing the morning show.
Oh, so you would have been competing with your friend?
Right. So we just kind of took that off the table. We said, look, if we can't work with him in some capacity, then we don't want to work. We don't want to work in that town at all. So I sent out feelers literally every major city across the country except Cincinnati.
It almost felt disrespectful to him. It just felt like a not very nice thing to do.
Right.
But then what was funny about that is Q102 finds us. They reach out to us. They're talking to us. He gets wind of it, that they're talking to us. And he called me and he said, Jen, he said, you've got a kid. You've got a life. You've got a family. Take that job. Which I thought was one of the coolest things like someone in that position could do.
Yeah. And he didn't stay at that job long because he ended up moving on himself. So, you know, I don't know
He
if
was
maybe
gone within a year.
he had an idea that he wouldn't be there that long anyway. So,
I remember when they were courting you guys. I was working here, and I remember our program director at the time was like, I go on vacation down in Florida, and I listen to these guys when I'm in Clearwater, and I hear they're looking for a job. I'm gonna see if I can get them up here.
yeah, that helped. It helped that he was a fan.
Well, and he knew you.
Right.
He had been listening to you, I guess, separately for years and then together, right?
He did, but he was also concerned about the relationship that we had with BJ, who was working across the street at the time. So, you know, because, you know, loyalty is everything. And when I say this is also, you know, when I use the word incestuous, this is also a very incestuous business. This is a small world, you know, everybody knows everybody. And so I think he was worried about us working within close proximity to our old boyfriend, so to speak, you know?
He was, because the first day that you guys came into town and we met you, and I was here and Leslie was here and we met you guys. We were sitting in his office. You guys left and then you were going to meet up that night later for dinner. That guy, Tommy, our program director, and Leslie, who was your producer, and I at the time got in our car and we drove up to the competition to see if your cars were in the parking lot.
Are you kidding me?
No.
That's so
I thought
funny.
I had told you that before. Yeah, so we did like this random rogue drive-by in his
You were tailing us to make
his
sure.
white Suburban.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So funny.
To see if you were across the street, because he was like, here I am bringing these guys into town.
It was a risk.
And what if they just leave us and or just start their thing next door?
Because
Right.
there's a lot of air talent that would do that.
Yeah.
You know, that's not
Those kind of shenanigans go on sometimes.
Right.
That happens.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I mean, we can look out our window here and actually see the building across Reading Road he used to work in. So, yeah. But that was really good when he gave us his blessing,
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was very
special.
cool.
and
Good
yeah,
guy.
we felt better about it. And this just felt like a great match, you know, being here and meeting Fritchie and Leslie and the team here.
And Brian
the
Douglas,
management.
remember? He was like, what did you used to call him?
Well, I called him the mayor, but they considered him sort of the ambassador.
Ambassador, that's the word.
And he still is kind of, and Brian welcomed us with open arms. And I think once we got that Brian Douglas seal of approval, that was everything.
He was so nice.
He really was. And I'll never forget that.
I remember him telling us behind the scenes, he was like, these two are the real deal. Like, he was like, they're the real deal.
That's so nice.
That's funny. That's sweet.
I wonder if he still means that.
Yeah.
Well, we always felt like he was a real deal.
Yeah,
We
sure.
loved him. And
Class
yeah,
act.
that kind of
All
longevity
the way.
doesn't happen everywhere.
I brought in some actually, I can't even say I got this. My mom got this, a finest bottle of champagne. So I'm going to pass this to, we're doing a Facebook Live right now. I'm going to pass that off to Tim.
Nice.
Look at that
Look
bottle
at
of
that.
champagne.
Jeff popped the bottle.
Poor Bell's finest.
I like how you've created a little bit of a, what do you call that, a pyramid?
This is a champagne tower.
That's quite a display you have over there.
With plastic champagne glasses.
Come over to the cake.
Here we go. We got cake and champagne. What more could we ask for?
Thank you, Kroger.
Yeah. Very
Well done.
nice. Purchase plastic knife.
I don't remember. Did we celebrate our 17th and our 16th and our
We have
15th?
actually, I don't think we have done a celebration since our 10-year. I think on our 10-year anniversary.
Yeah,
is
10
when
year
we
was kind of a
had
big deal.
Matchbox 20.
Yeah.
And we did a whole live morning with Rob Thomas and the other guy. What
Yeah,
was,
didn't the 98 Degrees guys show up too?
that was a different.
No,
that was a different one.
Different gig, different show.
Yeah.
Open, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Huh? Oh, this?
I want to see you two feeding each other cake.
Ah.
You want to open this?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh, there you go. Well
Okay.
done.
Don't really pour that.
Well
No.
done.
Too much equipment in here for the fountain.
Oh, I was going to
Let's be
pour. I was going to
careful.
pour the fountain. It'd probably not be a good idea.
Yeah.
We're actually going to save this so he can spray Jen. Okay, that'll be your cup. She needs less than that.
What are you saying? She can't handle her champagne?
After all these years. That's it.
Oh, that's it? My goodness.
Thanks for listening to the Q102 Jeff and Jen Morning Show podcast, brought to you by CVG Airport. Fly healthy through CVG. For more information, go to CVG Airport /fly